Hey guys, sorry if I look a little rough. I just got back from a road trip where I took all the tanks that I own up to my new apartment. As you guys know, I left some temporary holding tanks here with all my fish in them that was supposed to hold them all summer, the next 2 months. Unfortunately, while I was gone, I got the call that no fish keeper wants to get. That is kind of one of the two worst things that can happen in fish keeping, and that is that my 50-gallon goldfish holding tank leaked while I was gone. It broke. Water everywhere, ruined the floors. I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. My fish now have nowhere to go because that was their temporary tank and their real tank is gone. I'm going to show you what was done with them in a second. I am very grateful that it's kind of a solution that's going to buy me some time. Unfortunately, as you can see, it's nighttime. I got back very late and everything is closed here, so what I'm going to have to do after I get done showing you guys the situation real quick is I'm going to go through all the old fish things that I've collected over the years, and I'm going to try and come up with a solution that's going to give me time to give them another good temporary tank. I'm going to show you guys now the deal with the tub and the house and the floors and the fish and all of that. So yeah, not a good situation. Was kind of a little bit of an emergency there for a second. I think things are okay for now, and I'm going to just get into it now and show you guys what's going on. So this is what the 50-gallon tub looks like. As you guys know, as I mentioned, it is an old horse waterer. This is the likely spot where we think it was leaking. I can kind of wiggle this a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. That is the plug at the bottom that I did make sure was tight when I filled the tank up, and I did let the tank sit for 24 hours when I first set it up. But unfortunately, I guess the leak was so slow or so little that I just didn't notice. Or maybe the pressure of the water sitting after 24 hours kind of loosened the sealant. Maybe the sealant was kind of old and whatever, it just didn't hold up. Because the rest of the tank is very tough and thick material, and that was kind of the only place that we thought it could be leaking that we think is the culprit. Is right there, is the little plug at the back. And it was also, that was the side facing the wall, so it was very hard to see, very hard to catch a leak if you didn't see that little few inches between the back of the tank and the wall. Oh, okay, so this is the site you walk into when you come into the house. I guess you guys know that this is the corner where I had the tub set up last video. We kind of have the weights sitting on some of the wood planks to try and hold them down from curling. It's not really working. I don't know if I get really low if you guys can see across this floor. You know, the rest of the floor is very smooth and clean, and this is all warped and dark, and over there you can kind of see the shine of like the sealant between it is just coming up and falling apart, and it's really just ruined this entire quarter. This whole corner of the room is really ruined. The floors are damaged, hopefully not beyond repair, but maybe might have to end up replacing all of this. Super disappointing, obviously. A huge letdown, a shock for me to walk into after just leaving this, you know, a day and a half ago, and everything was great and my tank was set up and running great, and I checked it and I didn't see any leaks and it all looked good. It's one of those awful things, you know, that's kind of the worst thing that happens in fish keeping. You can have diseases wipe out all your fish, or you can have your tanks bust and just not work for you, and those are kind of getting on up there with the worst things that you can get called and told about while you're, you know, away from your fish room and hoping that it's doing well. If we kind of walk back to the bathroom back here that I showed you guys before, you can see what my mother did in this emergency of walking in and finding the tank leaking. The way that she found to save these fish for me while I was gone is in these two buckets. I believe this one is 3 gallons and this one is 2.5. You can see at the top there is my big orange fantail manfred. In the bottom is my calico fantail pie that I used to think was a female, but as it ages, I believe it is showing characteristics of being a male. The little air stone run by the air pump is in this tank, and my sponge filter is in this tank with all my good bacteria, so hopefully the good bacteria is all still alive and being aerated. And in here is my aquarium plants, so hopefully they're all alive as well with my fish in there. As I said, not a huge time crunch because they can live, you know, a couple hours in these buckets with these air pumps. This was how I was planning to take my goldfish to my apartment, is in big tubs with air stones, with air pumps kind of aerating the water. So I'm incredibly glad that my mother thought to do this and save these fish's lives for me so that they were not out of water and, you know, flopping on the floor. definitely made the best of a bad situation. This is going to give me the time I need to go through all my fish supplies and come up with something that I can do that will hold them until I get a temporary tank. Obviously it's not a super favorable position for them to be in, so I'm going to do my best to find something and do better now. I'm incredibly glad that my fish seem okay for the time being. They seem healthy. They don't seem like it did them lasting damage. Of course, I'll be able to check them more when I have them in like another glass tank and can really see them. So yeah, they are okay for the moment, but I need to do something. I need to find something better for them, and I need to do it fast. Alright guys, so I'm not going to turn on my tank light right now because I don't want to stress them out. They've been, you know, moving around a good bit the past couple days, and I think they just kind of want to chill out and rest. This isn't super pretty, but this is an extra 10-gallon tank that I had lying around. As you guys saw, I put the 20-gallon filter on that. I actually bought a giant 60-gallon double filter to go on the 20 because I like to always have more filtration than I have gallons in my tank. I did leave the sponge filter in there because I am trying to grow some good bacteria on it right now, and I know it's always good to just have more filtration than you need because, I mean, a 10-gallon is really not big enough for a goldfish that's pushing 5 inches and a baby. But though there is not a good volume of water, it should be clean water because it's brand new, so it's the equivalent of just doing 100% water change, acclimated them, 20-gallon filter, sponge filter, and air stone. My live plants are in there, kind of making them feel comfortable and giving them a little bit of cover. Sorry if the reflection's really bad. And of course I have my thermometer to make sure the temperature is okay for them. They do seem a little bit more comfortable already just being in a tank versus, you know, obviously being in a bucket or even really in the pond tub. They were a little uncomfortable because they are tank fish. They're used to being able to see through the sides, and they're used to having, you know, a black lid over the top of them, and to have no lid and not be able to see through the sides really kind of flipped their world upside down, and I think they were a little bit stressed in it anyway. So I just wanted to give you guys a little update, and we will check in on them again later. Hey guys, I'm sorry that this video is such a bummer. I promise that it is more of a bummer for me. You know, I really had a plan and I thought everything was going really great, and then it all just kind of fell apart. Believe it or not, I actually have even more bad news for you guys. Now, I of course take full responsibility for this. When I was looking for a new place to live, I had a lot of things running through my brain. You know, I was looking at a lot of different places. I was in a time crunch. I had a lot of things to consider for my life and my future. And unfortunately, one of the things that ended up falling through the crack was me getting mixed up with the pet policy at this particular place to live. I think you guys know where this is going. When I chose this place to live, I was under the impression that fish tanks were allowed. As you know, I went ahead and moved up my fish tanks and everything, but then I did double check, and it turns out that I'm only allowed to have one fish tank. And it goes even further than that. That fish tank can be no more than 5 gallons. You guys, of course, know what that means, which is that my goldfish cannot come with me to my new place of residence. Obviously, my main concern in my job as a fish keeper and as a pet owner is always to first and foremost consider the well-being of the fish and give them the highest quality life possible. I simply cannot do this, you know, with 2 large goldfish and a tank restriction like that. I definitely don't want to give up my goldfish completely. I am hoping that I can get a family member to take them for me for the next couple of years until I move out of this place. So far the plan is the betas are still coming with me, and I'll definitely talk about that more in the future, as well as more about the future of this channel in general. Right now I really just want to stay focused on my goldfish. I'm sorry, I don't really know what to say. You know that Manfred especially is my guy, he's my mascot, he's the logo of my channel. I don't think I would have had a channel without him. I think he's beautiful and full of personality, and he is the first goldfish that I've ever really successfully kept, which is really important for me because when I was first getting into the aquarium hobby seriously, goldfish were one of the fish that I struggled with, and I don't know, maybe one day I will tell you guys that story if you want to hear it. So, you know, this channel and my life in general, of course, will not be the same without Manfred and Pi in it every day. I am hopeful that I will get to see them here and there if I can get everything worked out. I want us both to be happy and safe, and I want to do all that I can to make that happen for both of us. Oh gosh, this sounds like a breakup video, doesn't it? I'm so dramatic. But I am really sad, and you guys know that my fish are my pets. I'm very sentimental. I give them all names. They're all individuals to me, and I know their personalities, I know their habits, and I'm very frustrated with myself and with everything in general. And that's okay. I will talk more about all of this later when I kind of organize my thoughts and I have a plan of what I'm gonna do. But thank you for watching, and I promise that I will figure out something that is good for everybody. See you guys next time. Hey guys, I decided that I wanted to end on a little bit more of a positive note. I know that these things happen and there's really nothing you can do about them. You have to do what's good for you. The bottom line is I'm going to be fine, my fish are going to be fine. As far as the future of this channel, I've always felt that quality of content is way more important than like quantity of clickbait or quantity of fish or anything like that. So I'm really excited. I still think that there's so much we can do with this channel, even though I'm downsizing my hobby. And regardless of what content I'm putting out, I love to see the content that you guys put out and be part of this community with you. So once again, thank you, and I will see you guys all again next week. Bye guys.